add new things. I'm really glad they added those things on the wrist and the waist. They really do look alien-like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And other than that, the only thing that's different about the suit is, the wrist, waist things, and the fact that the suit is all scaly.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no major change to the suit, so they didn't go all crazy on this. It's still the Superman suit, only that there's two new alterations to it.
Yeah. What'd you think of the fact that in a lot of the pictures from the set, he doesn't have the cape on? A lot of the times it's just the suit and no cape.
Oh, those were, I heard that those were, taken from where, Henry was taking a break, and he was just practicing the fight sequences.
Ah, okay.
I heard that the cape was very annoying, and so they took it off so he could practice, so he could have more flexibility to practice. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna make him take off the cape in the movie. That's just for Henry Cavill to take off so he can practice or he can rest. Yeah, but I don't think that's from for the film. That's just for Henry to rest.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of confused about that, and that's what I was thinking too. And, but one thing it did definitely do was it gave us a better look at the suit without the cape kind of shadowing over it.
Yeah.
But my only regret with the fact that the majority of the pictures are of Henry not doing any of the choreography is I'm dying to see what the back of that cape looks like, because, Superman Returns didn't have the S emblem on the cape like Christopher Reeve's suit did, and what he's always had in the comics. I think
actually, I have seen what the back of the cape looks like, and the S symbol is not there. It's just a plain old red cape. Yeah, it's not there. I'll send you a pic later. Yeah, the S symbol is not there.
Oh, it's not?
It's just a red cape, just like a Brandon Routh Superman.
That's kind of disappointing. I mean, they have it in the comics, but now it's not yellow, it's black. So I think that could have looked a little cool on screen. But I think that it makes the suit look a little more cartoony, and they definitely weren't going for that with this movie.
Right.
So Henry Cavill, he looks fantastic in it.
Yeah, he definitely looks like Superman.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like the Christopher Reeve Superman much, but he looks like Superman.
Yeah, definitely.
Superman doesn't really have to look like Christopher Reeve. He just has to look like Superman. I don't know how to say it, but
yeah,
he looks like Superman. I'm really glad they casted him in it. He's really pulling it off based on the photos that we're seeing nowadays.
Yeah, that's what I like most about it, is that, like you said, he really doesn't look that much like Christopher Reeve, but he looks like Superman. And I think that's the strength, that this really is a reboot, and this isn't just another retread like, again, what Superman Returns was. So, I'm happy that we're going to see that. Otherwise, we don't know much about it so far. I mean, they're still keeping a lot secret, which is a good thing. And and everything seems to be under lock and key. Like, the script hasn't been leaked, or the whole thing. I mean, there have been parts of it that have been leaked, but I'm glad that we don't know much about it, and it's definitely going to be a big surprise to see it in theaters and really be blown away by it as being a modern take on Superman.
Right. I want to talk about the music. Do you think we're going to get a brand new pounding theme song like John Williams Superman, or do you think they're going to try to create a similar thing with trying to channel John Williams' theme song of Superman?
I was thinking about this before we started recording, and I meant to bring it up. I'm sorry, I forgot that part of it. So thanks for reminding me. And I'm actually going to take the approach with this that this is a similar approach to what they did with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, because the fact that this is a reboot and not pretending to be in the same continuity as the Christopher Reeve movies like Superman Returns was, I kind of doubt we're going to get a John Williams kind of reimagining, but at the same time, I think we'll get something that's very similar and very Superman, which is what they did with The Dark Knight and Batman Begins with a Hans Zimmer score. And I don't know if they've announced the composer yet. Do you know if they have?
No, not yet. They do that once they enter post-production.
Yeah.
Right now, they're still in principal photography.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm actually kind of hoping they go for a new soundtrack, but I kind of hope they incorporate parts of the John Williams score into it. Like that is Superman's theme song. So I think that we'll get bits and pieces of it, but I don't think that we're gonna get something like the Christopher Reeve opening credit sequence or anything like that.
Right. Who do you think should compose the music? Do you think that since this is a Christopher Nolan produced film, do you think it's going to be Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard, or should it be Tyler Bates? Because Tyler Bates, Zack Snyder uses him a lot for his films. He composed, I believe, Dawn of the Dead. I know he composed 300, and I just know that Zack Snyder likes to use Tyler Bates a lot for his films. So, what do you think this is going to be? Who do you think is going to be?
Who I think, Zack Snyder seems to have most of the power, in terms of who gets the job on this movie now. And Christopher Nolan seems to be a little too occupied with The Dark Knight Rises. Not saying that's a bad thing or anything, but I'm saying that he probably doesn't have too much control over that. But honestly, I would like to see Hans Zimmer more, because if you listen to the soundtracks for 300 and for Watchmen in particular, it's a lot of either really generic orchestral stuff or pop music, particularly with Watchmen. And I guess that's the point of Watchmen, and that's trying to feel like the 80s. But since this is Superman, I think that I want to hear more orchestral soundtrack, and Hans Zimmer is just a master with that. When he makes a movie and he makes a soundtrack, the soundtrack feels like it's part of that universe that the movie's trying to bring you into. And he not only did that with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, but he did it fantastically in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
So
I certainly would want Hans Zimmer to come in and do it. Yeah. Rather than Tyler Bates. Now that I think about it, I remember the 300 soundtrack, and it seems like a mixture of old Greek mythology music combined with modern guitar instruments.
Yeah.
So I really wonder if he's the right choice for it, but which I doubt. But I think Hans Zimmer, Hans Zimmer all the way.
Yeah. He's just, again, the big thing is that he makes the music feel like it's part of the universe. And that's why I can even watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They have really kind of hackneyed stories, but the music just creates so much atmosphere that it's hard not to get sucked in. And it's the same thing with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Even though they have fantastic story and acting, but the music just feels like it belongs in Gotham City.
All right. I want to talk about Zack Snyder again. I think he needs a film like this because recently he hasn't made a good film.
No, not really.
His recent films were Sucker Punch and Legends of the Guardians. For what reason he wanted to do a children's PG film, I do not know.
About owls, who knows?
I unwillingly went to go see Legends of the Guardians and sat through it for the first 30 minutes, and it was completely different from what the trailer had to offer.
Yeah.
It was very it wasn't for kids. It's not like it wasn't for kids. It had very odd, almost subliminal themes and elements to it.
Really?
Thing about betraying your family and mind controlling. It just seemed like, wow, is Disney producing this? And it just seems too dark for children.
Yeah.
Even darker than Rango.
Oh.
Some elements. But after the first 30 minutes, I just walked out and just went to go see a different film because it was just too weird. It was basically like a drug, like a psychedelic drug. And I recently went to go see Sucker Punch, which is another CG fest from Zack Snyder. It was a film which he wrote and directed, and I gotta tell you, I was hyping this movie a lot because it really looks cool from the trailers. But once I went to go see this movie, I was I was literally ripped out of my money. It was so bad. Like, what did I just see? It was horrible. And the movie made no sense at all. Like, the story, it doesn't make sense. It seems like it doesn't know what direction it's trying to go, whether it's trying to be a video game or a manga or a World War II film. It just, make up your mind. And this is all coming from Zack Snyder, who had complete control over this film. So after seeing Sucker Punch, I started to worry about Superman. Because I said to myself, oh my God, and this is the guy who's doing Superman. But then I thought to myself, well, Christopher Nolan's producing it as well, so Zack Snyder has a stupid idea. Christopher Nolan would just smack him in the face and say, no, we're not doing that.
Totally.
But I don't know if you have seen Sucker Punch or not.
No, I haven't.
I recommend you not to rent it. If you do want to see it, just like download it from the internet, because it's a very, very bad movie. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's just like, come on, like, give me something that's worthwhile. Give me like if you're not going to give me a good story, then at least give me good action.
Absolutely.
It actually does. I have to admit, it does have pretty good visuals and pretty decent action, but nothing that just seems too motivational. It's like mindless. It's just too mindless. Like, okay, what's the point of the fighting scene? Like, there's no point with them at all. So I think Zack Snyder really needs this film, because he needs like a boost in his career, because he's just going downhill after Sucker Punch. You know,
absolutely.
He did a terrific job with 300, Watchmen, and when we get to Legends of the Guardians and Sucker Punch, you're like, Zach, what happened?
I know.
You know, Sucker Punch just seemed the type of movie that he wanted to do ever since he was a kid. And he should have seen that. Sucker Punch was literally the type of movie that a 7-year-old would make. He likes girls, he likes anime, he likes video games, he likes all this World War II action, and he's just incorporated into one single film.
And samurai movies.
It's horrible. Yeah, samurai movies. It's horrible. It's a horrible combination of Kill Bill, Inception, Charlie's Angels, and the Quentin Tarantino movie. It's a horrible combination.
Yeah.
And if the movie is not bad enough, the soundtrack is horrible. In the film, the girl that's played by Emily Browning, what you as the audience, you go into these action scenes that are full of CG.
Yeah.
And the only way you go into it is if somebody plays an electronic rock song, and we just witness these blackouts from Emily Browning, and all of a sudden you're just magically in this different world. And for some reason, they're just fighting people for hardly any good reason. And if I tell you the story, you would think that this is like some sort of a story to The Legend of Zelda or something. Okay, this is basically what they have to do. They have to get these items from these people. Doesn't that sound too much like a video game? And it even channels it like a video game. They have this, and there's this one scene that I thought was too over the top, too stupid. There's the scene where they have this key. I believe it was a key. And it was lying under a dragon.
Oh God.
And they have to fight through this army of orcs in order to get into the castle to the dragon. And once they get the key, all of a sudden the boss dragon comes out. Going, okay, is this a video game or is this a movie?
Yeah, is this a World of Warcraft quest or a movie?
This is not even like a movie. This is more like a 7-year-old ejaculation fantasy of,
Yeah.
It was such a horrible film, and, I was really mad and was very worried about Superman, but, realizing that, Zack Snyder, he's been unlucky in between 2010 and 2011. He needs Superman. He needs a boost in his career.
Yeah.